Hi there, welcome back to the Focus Shed. It's me, Paul Livesey, bringing you back FPL Focus with my first show of the season. This one today is going to be my latest draft, and without further ado, let's just get straight into it. Why not? So, I have been working hard and I have a brand new way of demonstrating my team to you, and this is it. Not just that, I've got a brand new team name. No more Livesey Loves It, those days are over, okay? It's time for No More Mr. Dice Guy. That's the team name, and that's how we're playing this season. The love has gone. Not for you guys though. Right, let's start off. Who have I got in goal? Happy to say I finally have an Evertonian in goal. Jordan Pickford is there for the time being. I will mention as I go through some possible players that I am considering instead. So this is by no means set in stone. So I'm possibly considering the Brighton Brentford goalkeepers. Just want to see what's going on there as well. Some 4.5 options. Just want to see what's going on in pre-season first. But no, Everton have got some good fixtures. Pope was a fantastic goalkeeper at 4.5s under Dykes, if you remember. Lots of shots coming from outside the box, lots of save points. So I'm hoping that sort of thing is replicated for Jordan Pickford. He's currently the highest owned £4.5 million goalkeeper as it stands. And we have got a great set of fixtures, 5 home games. I say we because if you're new to the channel, I'm an Evertonian, but we have got a great set of fixtures for the first 8. We've got Fulham at home, Wolves at home, Luton at home, Sheffield United away. So we've got a couple of the teams that have just been promoted in those 8 fixtures as well. Bournemouth at home, Luton at home. So it is some good fixtures, and hopefully, not just for my team, but for Everton in general, we get some clean sheets out of that and get some good points. Moving on to the defence, I'm currently playing as you can see, a 3-5-2 formation, just in the box down there. Starting off with Estupinian, £5 million defender. He's currently the highest owned defender in the game, 51% of teams. From game week 20, he was the second highest scoring defender. So if you are a bit like this, and I was, but I went and did a little bit of research, second half of the season, he was awesome. He was only 1 point behind Trent in that time, and he scored 100 points from game week 20 onwards. I know there was a couple of doubles in there towards the back end of the season, but he was the 3rd highest last year for expected assists and the 7th for expected goals. And under De Zerbi, hopefully that second half of the season form continues. Some good fixtures, starting off at home to Luton, Wolves, away to Wolves, and then West Ham. A couple of toughies after that, so we shall see how things go. But really, a good start for him. Next one up for me, the main man, I think. In all honesty, for me, he's been in my team throughout. He's one of the first names on the team sheet. I had him at the back end of last season. I was gutted I didn't bring him in the 2 weeks earlier when I talked about him. But no, he was fantastic second half of last season. The highest point scorer from game week 20 onwards. He continued his role in Liverpool's first pre-season friendly, from what I've seen earlier. But it is a tough first fixture away to Chelsea. He did manage 8 assists and 1 goal in the last 15 game weeks, plus he was joint top for clean sheets in the second half of last season too. Liverpool was second to only City for points from game week 21, so that's an interesting stat. And some great fixtures, Newcastle away being and Chelsea away in the first sort of 3 game weeks. Pretty tough, but after that, lots of good fixtures. Wolves away, West Ham at home, Everton at home, dare I say it, Notts Forest at home, Luton away. They've got Bournemouth at home in the second game, and if you remember last season, that was a 9-0. I mean, he's a captaincy option, let's be honest, for that game as well. Luke Shaw, I must have pressed the button when I wasn't looking, and Luke Shaw has appeared. He makes up my 3 at the back. He's creative, he's attack-minded, playing Wolves at home, first game of the season, Spurs away, second game of the season. By all means, they're playing with 2 at the back with inverted fullbacks by the sound of it under Postecoglou, if that's how you say it, RJ. So I can see Luke Shaw getting in behind the defence in that game as well, even though that's a fairly tough fixture. Forest at home and then Arsenal away for game week 4. But there is some great Chelsea fixtures coming at that point as well. So that could be a consideration moving forward. Those 3 make up my 3 at the back. So on to midfield. First player I've got in midfield, Phil Foden. Gundogan and Mahrez is leaving. Rumours that Bernardo Silva's going to leave too. KDB's injured for the first few games. Phil Foden, if you remember, at the back end of last season, was something I really took note of. When he came on as a sub, he played a lot in that advanced role. He came on for KDB a couple of times, and when he played, but we know he can play left, middle, right, and we also know with Phil Foden, wherever he plays, he's getting goals and he's getting assists. The one thing with Phil Foden is minutes, but with those players leaving, potentially leaving, and injured, whilst there is Alvarez to come in, whilst there is Jack Grealish, who has pretty much made that spot on his own, on the left, his own, I think Phil Foden is going to get a lot of game time early doors. And their fixtures, they've got Burnley away, then it's Newcastle at home, so that's a little bit tougher, but it's City and they're at home, and Sheffield United, Fulham, West Ham, Forest, Wolves. I can see those first 7 games, him getting some really good points. So at 7.5 million, he's in the team. Somebody, I mean, I'll be keeping an eye on the likes of maybe Grealish, maybe Sterling for him as we move forward, but I think he's a really good pick, and I just want to double up on the City. Obviously, you know who I've got up top. Next, Marcus Rashford. I mean, what's left to say about his season last season? How awesome was he? 17 goals, 7 assists in 35 appearances for the club. Wolves for the first home fixture, and I'm looking to get off to a good big bang. He's actually currently my vice captain as well. He had the second highest expected goals last season at 19.06. Okay, there's only Salah that got better. This is in midfield, obviously. And he's only just a little bit better as well on 20. The next closest, if you go down the list, is on 12. So that just goes to show how prolific he was last season. So yeah, he's in the team without doubt. Who's next? Martin Odegaard. Legend for me towards the back end of last season. Really helped me climb in those ranks after my disastrous start to the season. But he was, like I say, the highest scoring Arsenal midfielder last season, 15 goals and 8 assists. He's also the captain of the team, played in 37 games, so his minutes are not limited. Got some great opening fixtures, Forest, Palace, Fulham, Man United, but they're at home, Everton away, Spurs, Bournemouth away, and then off to Man City in game week 8. So got some great fixtures, 20% owned, so he's got quite high ownership. He took most of the free kicks last season, 48 out of the 64 that were available, and he was the second highest points with 212 in midfield. Saka was on 202, and I know a lot of people are going there, and I'm considering the Saka purely on ownership basis because I don't want to get left behind early in the season. But in all honesty, I think that would be my only reasoning based on ownership. I think Odegaard is a better pick. There, I said it. Who's next? Martinelli. So yes, I have gone for a cheeky double up in midfield of the Arsenal assets. I think the fixtures are fantastic. They hit the ground running last season. Why wouldn't they do the same again this season? I can only see that. And again, 15 goals, 9 assists. That's 24 attacking returns in 36 appearances. And for £8 million, that's 2 attacking returns every 3 games he was getting last season. So somebody I definitely want in my team from the start. I do think actually this season, and it's just a gut feeling, you know, tell me if you think any different, I do think he may start to play some more games in that striker role. I know Jesus is available, but Jesus XG higher, goal return lower, so he does get in the positions. And he looked awesome from the left, and even last season I sold him thinking, like, you know, his minutes weren't, once Trossard came on board, and I went to Odegaard, to be honest. I only went with the one midfielder, but he just kept returning. He still had 36 appearances last season in the Premier League, so his minute, even though some of those were substitute appearances, let's be honest, if he's coming on 20 minutes to go, likelihood is he's fit, he could get an attacking return anyway. He takes corners if he's on the pitch. 63 he took last season, so averaging nearly 2 a game. And he does sometimes take the odd free kick as well. 10 last season, so 1 sort of every 4 games. Managed 198 points altogether. Only 4 less than Saka and £500,000 cheaper. And a slight differential. At time of writing, he was 13.9% owned. Right, my final midfielder is Julio Enciso. Now, this young man, last season, last 7 games, 4 goals, 3 assists. Wow. Just absolutely fantastic form. Is it a short spell? Will he be found out? I think, and we need to watch pre-season, and I'm not going to watch the games, but find out what he's been doing, how he's been performing. Is he playing in this number 10 role now that Mac 10 has moved on to Liverpool? And if so, is he going to be a regular starter? Something I need to see before the season starts. He is a differential compared to Mitoma, who is in a lot of teams. And Mitoma has been in my team, or my draft, as I've moved around. But this has just enabled me to basically put all my money out on the pitch. Nothing left on the bench with this team. Which takes me up top, and I don't think there's any major surprises. I've got Erling Haaland in my team. He is £14 million this season, as I'm sure you know, as you put him in. But he got 272 points last season. Not quite a record. I think he's like 6th or 7th. Salah's got that for 303 points a couple of seasons ago, but only 31 points behind. And let's be honest, he did drop off a little bit at the end of last season. Didn't get as many minutes once the league was in the bag. But he is an absolute legend already. A machine. 35 games he played and 36 goals and 9 assists. Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. So yes, brave person to go without Erling Haaland this season. And next to him, currently, I've got a full-on Arsenal triple up in attack. Gabriel Jesus, £8 million. Now this one is a little bit 50-50 on it, to be honest with you. I can't really see a better choice. I am keeping an eye on the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Evan Ferguson and Carlton Morris in the 6 million or sub £6 million price bracket. Morris at 5.5s. As I would like to basically not have too much on my second forward. I just don't think it's very good value for money. If you look at last season, for example, I mean, you've got to be really moving those forwards around, I think, to get a decent return up front, unless you've got Haaland or Kane. It's as simple as that. Most forwards last season, I don't think they broke 150 points, apart from Haaland, of course, and Harry Kane, but the rest were a mile off. And you know, £8 million, somebody who's going to get you, you know, over a season 150 points. There is got to be rotation and transfer dealings to make that position work, I believe. Whereas in midfield, I mean, Rashford got over around the 200-point mark. I think so did Odegaard, so did Martinelli there for me last season, obviously. And I fully expect them to do it again this season. They could be very much long stays in my team, some of these. Yeah, let's have a quick look at the bench. This does need some revision, in all honesty. Now that Game Week 2 has been, if you're not aware, Game Week 2 has been announced as a blank for Burnley and Luton. Luton's ground is undergoing some extra work to make it Premier League ready, and both teams have agreed to basically postpone that game. So we've got a blank game week already. So there'll be a good bench come the double game week, I'm sure. But yes, I currently have McAtee in as my substitute striker, my 4.5. Been looking at Archer. He was in there for a long time, but McAtee came on in the second half of the pre-season friendly last week, and he managed to get a goal and assist. So I thought, let's have him in for the time being. But that could well be Archer once the season starts. Bell in defence and Bayer have gone for two £4 million defenders to enable me to maximise the amount I've spent on players on the pitch. And yeah, Bayer looks, he's a left centre back. He played pretty much every game he was in. He was fit for last season. Where's he gone? Where's his information? I've lost his information. Doesn't matter. But yeah, he was a mainstay and pivotal to the way they play, according to the research I've done. And Bell, again, a starter for Luton in defence. So those are ones that will be watched over the coming weeks, and pretty much probably could all change before then, or could still be there. Same for Areola. He's in goal. He is literally just rumoured to be a possible £4 million starting keeper, although I do see Fabianski played some minutes the other day as well in their first warm-up game, but that will become more evident as pre-season goes on. Right, that is it. That is my team. That's my draft. Do subscribe to the channel. Join the league, as you can see. The code's just there. Nihal, if you're watching, my friend, I've not had a chance to see you, or you've not been in contact for last season's prize, the I Love FPL Cup from the Livesy Loves It FPL days. Okay, so there's not going to be another one of those. I don't know what's going to be the prize this year. I'll come to that as the season goes on. I'll think of something good, I'm sure. Maybe I'll get one of those. Who knows? But thank you for watching today. Thanks for joining me again, and I shall see you soon here on FPL Focus. Take it easy.